I mean, it's nice. Like, it's nice that they're in good spirits about it, but like, this is just straight up blood libel, dude. This is like, you know, this is being advanced with a very, very nefarious purpose, and that is to make life unlivable for the Haitians, with the ultimate goal of like either.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
It was an extraordinary claim. So what is really going on in Springfield, Ohio?
I see a lot of pets that have disappeared on Facebook.
What do you know? What have you seen?
I know all our ducks are gone.
What do you think about it? Have you heard about it?
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen anything really.
Yeah. And you're not worried about your dog?
No.
But who's eating them? I have no idea.
No. But then a man who didn't want to be on camera with a hint of how these conspiracies are seeded.
I've never seen nothing going on with the dog and the cat, except what I've seen on TikTok with the Springfield police. Yeah. Arresting the lady for eating a cat. Yeah. That's the only thing I've seen. And she was from Ohio. I think she's from Haiti, wasn't she?
Why'd you?
Yeah, I saw the Springfield woman. Where the Springfield police is like, no, that's just an American citizen, not even in Springfield. Like, there you go. Happening in your backyard, you have no awareness of. You just think like that you saw on TikTok is more important for what you perceive is happening in your backyard, you know? Great stuff. Great stuff overall. Perfect demonstration of how social media works. She's from Haiti, Ohio. You know, Haiti, Ohio. That's where she's from. I heard. Haiti. Ay. What are we doing, dude? People have no critical thinking. It's over. It's so much over. No critical thinking, no interest in the truth. Just straight, unfiltered, unmitigated, no breaks. All gas, baby. Good stuff. Yeah. This is what happens when you let people think for themselves. No, this is what happens when people can't think for themselves. Okay? This is actually what happens when people can't think for themselves. Facts only. Meet the 11 gay or bisexual posts from history. That's crazy. Okay? You're crazy.
The cat. This is the video he's seen. Police footage of a woman being arrested for allegedly eating a cat. Yes, but she isn't a Haitian migrant. She is American. She was born here. And this isn't Springfield either. Across this town, we have not found anyone who has seen pet-eating immigrants. The dogs seem safe. The cats are roaming loose. The instinct then may be to laugh at this Trumpian rhetoric. Indeed, the Haitians of Springfield can see the funny side too.
The Haitian don't hitting the cat, the dog.
I mean, it's nice, like, it's nice that they're in good spirits about it, but like, this is just straight up blood libel, dude. This is like, you know, this is being advanced with a very, very nefarious purpose, and that is to make life unlivable for the Haitians, with the ultimate goal of like either physically driving them out of town or, you know, deporting them. It's very frustrating. Another BDS win. Okay. I saw chatters. Oh my God. MIT Coalition for Palestine shares a major victory. MIT activists end the first American-Israeli weapons manufacturer partnership at the university. It is a great W, okay? You have sent me this so many times today, and I feel like you're going to keep sending it over and over again. Like, we're going to get to it, okay? We're going to get to it. I'm on. It's not. We open up the floodgates now. We open up the floodgates. Now people are going to send me a ton more links. I got to stop. I got to stop clicking on link spammers, dude. I got to lock in. And so do you. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, you got to lock in. And make sure that you subscribe for $6, even though it's 30% off right now. Or for free with a Twitch Prime. Because here's the 3-minute ad break now. Wait, you are anti-spam? Come on, dude. You didn't know that I'm anti-spam in the chat? Anyway, we'll dive into this stuff in a second.
No, it's not no culture to hitting that.
Montes, Louis.
But within this cat and dog story, there are some actual truths, because there are huge challenges here over immigration.
This is your passport and your paperwork.
Vitio is one of 15,000 who have arrived here in this town from war-torn Haiti since 2020. The pressures on services and society are understandable.
You left your country, you know what, you left your country, the working, go school, study, it's okay.
Casey Rollings runs the centre.
How did you feel when you heard Donald Trump's words the other night?
I was physically ill. I was physically ill. Still am. I can't even react. I mean, I can't even repeat it. It's just unfathomable to me. But that's what happens when hysteria is spread, and, all kinds of fictional narratives. And it's really, really doing harm to our world.
We looked at another view from another Springfield resident that has gone viral.
I feel like we have been invaded by some sort of pest. I'm angry that my friends and family are packing up and moving away.
You are literally a Nazi, lady. You're a Nazi. You're a Nazi piece of... I feel like we're being invaded by some sort of pest. Straight up. Welcome back, Adolf Hitler, dude. So many little Hitlers everywhere in this goddamn country, okay? So many little Hitlers just left and right popping out.
I'm angry that foreigners are using up the resources that were set up for the Americans that reside here.
Every community, every culture has its myth and its folklore. I guess we're hearing it.
The tensions in the town are clear, but they are being fanned. This accident last year was caused by a Haitian driver. This 11-year-old died. Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, said online he was by migrants. Listen, though, to the boy's father.
I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was by a 60-year-old white man. I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy, my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone.
The Haitian thing is such an old-school blood libel that it feels like a noticeable escalation, like Sartre described in his essay on anti-Semitism. They know they're lying and they're enjoying it. Yeah, 100%. Never believe that anti-Semites are completely unaware of the absurdity of their replies. They know that their remarks are frivolous, open to challenge, but they are amusing themselves for it. Sorry, they are amusing themselves. For it is their adversary who is obliged to use words responsibly, since he believes in words. The anti-Semites have the right to play. They even like to play with discourse, for by giving ridiculous reasons, they discredit the seriousness of their interlocutors. They delight in acting in bad faith, since they seek not to persuade by sound argument, but to intimidate and disconcert. If you press them too closely, they will abruptly fall silent, loftily indicating by some phrase that the time for argument is past. This quite literally happened when that one Boner Chelly fan came into the chat to be like, you are lying about Springfield. You are lying about Springfield. It is a small town that was invaded by migrants, Haitian migrants, and that Springfield was not a poor town. You are lying, okay? And then when faced with the actual facts, because he was so confident that I was lying, okay, he went, oh, well, I guess we all figured out the truth now, thanks to me calling you out for lying. And then he still doubled down and said, doesn't matter. And then we found out that he was a defender of pedophilia. This is true of every single chud you see talking about Springfield. None of these people actually believe it. No, some people do actually believe it. There are real believers out there. Here, I'll show you, okay? I'll show you the poll that came out. This is a senior political reporter at the Washington Post, Aaron Blake. A majority of Trump supporters believe the Haitian immigrants stealing and eating pets thing. Independents disbelieve it more than 2-1, though. And 5 times as many independents are sure it's false as they are sure it's true, okay? For Trump supporters, 22% say Haitian immigrants are abducting and eating pets and dogs and cats. Definitely. They say it's definitely true. 22% of Trump voters say that. 30% of Trump voters say it's probably true, okay? As opposed to only 7% of independents that think it's definitely true and 17% of independents that think it's probably true. There are definitely a lot of people who are blindly believing this kind of stuff because they are straight up bots, okay? They are NPCs. They just literally read something from whatever headline from whatever news article or whatever leader they have in their movement, and they just go, that's true, and I will now repeat it forever, and I firmly believe it. Okay? Then there are the people like JD Vance that aren't real believers, but know full well that advocating for this works to galvanize some of the worst pieces in their base. There are those who don't give it if it's real or not and still repeat it. Can you think of anything that would have to happen for Vance and the other Nazis to stop spreading this? Yes, launching a successful counter-messaging campaign against this kind of sentiment, showcasing that it is utterly ridiculous, and also completely by pointing to examples that I've pointed to. For example, no, they won't stop if someone dies. What the f are you talking about? Remember El Paso? Remember the synagogue shooting? Remember Buffalo, New York? How many times do Trump supporters have to go out and people and say they're doing it because of the things that they heard on television for them to stop being? It doesn't happen like that. The only time it actually happens is if you deliver such a commanding defeat to the Republican Party that they have to change trajectory on the messaging. They never stop. That's the only thing that can change the discourse in this country, is if the one side that is supposed to be the adults in the room actually look at the situation and go, what the are you saying? You're gross, you're weird, you want people to hate their neighbors, and you're willing to lie to get them to do so. Okay? That's it. That's the only way that you can actually get out of this situation. Except the Democrats have been doing the exact opposite. So they are also responsible for this. The Democrats leaning into right-wing immigration policies, claiming that there is an issue at the border, claiming that there is a real problem with migrants, a problem that constitutes like real right-wing solutions like building a wall, only 4 years after calling everyone a Nazi for wanting to build that very same wall, is insane. The hypocrisy is glaringly obvious. Like, even if people don't have firmly held positions on it, okay, they see the Democrats go, build the wall was Nazi 4 years ago. Now you want to build it yourself. What the? Did you not believe it was Nazi back then either? Or are you a Nazi now? I don't really understand it. They don't want to build it. What are you talking about? And then you have the deluded liberals in here. They don't want to build the wall. You don't know your own policy. As a lifelong Democrat, I suspect you should know a little bit more about your own party's policy. Kamala Harris's border bill, which was Joe Biden's border bill that he unveiled, features funding to continue the build the wall. Okay? It does. The Joe Biden administration has also used eminent domain to expand the border bill. Or not to expand the border bill, sorry, to build the border wall. So you're wrong. It's in the bill. It's like money that was already meant for it, right? No, stop. You are not a DNC operative, okay? You are not getting paid by the Democratic Party. This is in the new bill that they are trying to vote for and sign into law. Kamala's first ad about immigration literally featured pics of Trump's wall 3 times. It is both bad policy and bad politics. Typical for the Democratic Party. Shocking that they would go so far, especially considering that it's a direct reversal. It is a direct reversal of what they ran on 4 years ago and successfully won on 4 years ago. I think Americans truly have a very short window of memory. Like, you just forget that 4 years prior, the Joe Biden campaign was running against Donald Trump's anti-immigrant sentiment and anti-immigrant policies.
President Trump issued his immigrant family separation order nearly 3 years ago.
Kids were under Mylar blankets on concrete floors after being taken from the arms of their parents. I will never forget seeing it with my own eyes, but Physicians for Human Rights, they call it torture. Pediatrics says it was government-sanctioned child.
Nearly 3 years after Trump's order, over 500 children are still not back with their parents.
What happened? Their kids were ripped from their arms and separated. And now they cannot find over 500 sets of those parents, and those kids are alone. Nowhere to go.
They are so well taken care of. They're in facilities that were so clean.
On his first day as president, Joe Biden will issue an order creating a federal task force to reunite these children with their parents.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Everything is at stake.
Thank you for educating me. Lol, I believe I just want to know what was new about it. Thank you. Thank you all for educating me. I did realize they were moving right on immigration. I didn't know it was so bad though. Yes, it is unimaginably bad. And back in the day, the Democrats at least would do a push and pull. You know what I mean? They'd be like, okay, we're going to do mass deportations like Barack Obama did, but we're also going to do DACA on the side or something. You know what I mean? They've dropped that. They don't even have compromise in this border bill. It's just right-wing. It's just a right-wing border bill written by an incredibly right-wing senator from Oklahoma. And the only reason why they did that is because they wanted to expose the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. It's such an idiotic thing. Why should we be against walls on the border? It's that just Trump presented it as his main solution to the immigration issue, which is wrong. What do you mean? Like, how do we go from the border wall is a silly argument to not a real problem at all? And it actually leans in the right-wing direction that like immigrants constitute a grave threat to this country. And therefore, this is silly nonsense to actually walls are good. Like border walls are perfectly solid. Every country has walls. This is literally what MAGA supporters used to say in 2016 all the way until 2020. Now Democrats are saying it. Do you not understand what you end up doing? You just keep radicalizing your base. You prime them to adopt right-wing positions. That's all you do when you do this, okay? That's all Democrats end up doing, creating more little Hitlerites, okay, in their own party that have this idiotic right-wing understanding. You do support easier access for immigrants to become citizens, even if that means a stronger border, right? Dude, there are no border walls between states. There is rarely the same level of, there's no great border wall between the northern border with Canada. One must ask the question, why? Why is there never a push to build a border wall on the northern border? There's a massive border there too. There's a higher population density of Canadians living on our northern border. Most of the Canadian towns and big cities, major cities, due to the climate in Canada, are directly on the border, okay? Why is nobody talking about building a massive border wall on the northern border? Why? Think about that. Yeah, like almost, I think, what is it, like 80% of the entire Canadian population, no, 90% of the entire Canadian population lives on the U.S. border, okay? Like near the U.S. border. A far larger number of Canadians, live right on the border than Mexicans. The entire Canadian population is right on the border. We've never talked about, 72% of Canada's population lives below latitude 49. 50% literally live right here. 90% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the U.S. border. It's because of climate, by the way. That's not the argument that I'm making. My point is there's no advocacy for building a border wall on the northern border. Why? Why? More than 60% of Canadians live south of Seattle. Yeah, northern ground isn't fertile either. Sure, I know. But why? Ask the question, why? YouGov Yahoo poll found that Harris beat Trump on every issue except immigration, including the all-important cost of living, 35% to 39%. Among Americans who either watched the debate or followed the subsequent coverage of it, a full 56% say Harris won. Just 26% say the same about Trump. In a break with long-standing partisan patterns, the number of Democrats who say won, 94%, is nearly 40 points higher than the number of Republicans who say Trump did, 57%. Just 21% of independents think the former president came out on top. Nearly half of those familiar with the debate, in fact, say Trump delivered a poor performance, 48%, while a clear majority, 58%, say Harris' performance was either excellent or good. That same group sees Harris as the candidate who came across as more presidential, 51 to 35, coherent, 50 to 29, competent, 50 to 36, focused on policy, 48 to 34, and strong, 47 to 39. Trump was seen as more insulting, 53 to 28, and untruthful, 49 to 35, as well as more responsible than Harris for making the debate embarrassing, 50% to 29, painful, 46 to 30, and infuriating, 44 to 33 to watch. But Harris didn't just win the personality contest Tuesday night. She won the policy war too. Respondents who followed the debate say the vice president gave better answers than Trump on every issue except immigration, including abortion, 53 to 30%. The January 6th attacks on U.S. Capitol, 49 to 28. Her own record, 45 to 31. The cost of living, 45 to 39. And even Trump's record, 44 to 36. As a result, 46% of them now say the debate made them think better of Harris. Just 20% say the same about Trump, including a mere 15% of independents. Okay? Kamala Harris didn't say about immigration, so of course, she lost on that front. She said very little about immigration. She rarely ever counter-messaged against Donald Trump's unhinged and ridiculous attacks, which is why I said I didn't like when she just laughed and said, talk about extreme, when Donald Trump was talking about eating cats and dogs, okay? And no, I'm not going to cover the Trump dog-eating song